How's it going? Welcome to once again episode 17 of the Opie-Verse podcast stream, whatever you want to call it. I'll call it podcast because people call it podcast, but is it really a podcast? I don't think it is. Yo, Jedi Connor is in the house. It is going to be heavy Star Wars tonight, Connor. It's going to be Star Wars, so stick around and we'll definitely feed you in. But give us some noise if you're in the chat also. But hope you are all doing well. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Hope you're having a nice Sunday. Look, it's all Star Wars tonight, isn't it? Darth Veritas is in the house. It's and I'll say, Lord Veritas, you're looking rather drippy on that profile picture, I must say. Looking good. We've got Spawn in the house. Hello, Spawn. How are we going? It's a noisy start, but that's how we like it. Hope you've all had a good weekend. I can't believe we are like 3 weeks out from Christmas now. Like how on earth did that happen? Like who the fuck knows, basically. But you know, but yeah, it's been a kind of choppy couple of weeks for me, just like stuff going on. But hope we get back down to a bit of normality, and we do so with the Opie-Verse and our guest this evening in the usual format. But just before we get to there, the usual warnings come, because those of you who are familiar with me through TikTok will know that we keep it quite family friendly over there. We do that here too, but every now and then, you know, the odd thing might slip out, and it's only because it's relevant. It's only because we need to emphasize these relevant things. I see this every week. You know, I'm not going to get shirtless and start. Well, to be honest, it feels like all of Star Wars, like Lego Star Wars, and all of Star Wars TikTok and Lego TikTok have been getting shirtless this week and flashing lightsabers behind heads and all that. It's been a rather saucy week. But you never know. You never know what might happen. But this is your warning, so we'll just kind of keep those. We'll keep it relevant. But you are warned that this is just a bit more of a mature vibe than what we'd usually get on TikTok. But without further ado, I will bring in our guest for the evening. You may know him as Harvey. You may know him as Darth Walker. Walker. Why can I not say Walker? Darth Walker. But I give to you Harvey. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good.
What's going on? What you been up to?
Not a whole lot. Posting some Bricklink orders. Link in description.
There's a drop.
Yeah.
Nice. I did.
Not even 2 minutes in.
So this is the thing actually I want to talk to you about. So in the preparation of all this, and anybody who isn't familiar with Harvey, you will be able to find his link tree in the description below, as well as everything else, but please go and check him out. But you have like, what is it, one TikTok account, or do you have 2 TikTok accounts?
I've got one, but I did make a Lego one
Right.
because like my Lego views non-existent on my main account, so I made a second one as an experiment to see if they would get more on a different account. Apparently they did, but I haven't posted on it in a while, to be honest.
God bless the algorithm.
Yeah.
So you've got that. Then you have 2 Instagram accounts. I know that. You then have a Twitch account. I'm running out of stuff here. So did you have Twitter? Do you have Twitter?
No.
YouTube?
Yes.
Do you post?
I've posted a few shorts on there, and I've got some old Battlefront 2 videos that are like MLG edited from like 2016 or whatever, 2018.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't post on there a lot. It's just TikTok is the main place.
But then you also have Brickowl and Bricklink. And there aren't many people that have that anymore. Like, I feel like probably about a year ago, there were people who were on both because they thought like maximize opportunities, but then a lot of people just kind of landed on one or the other, but not a lot of people kind of have them both. So actually you're in a really unique position from it, because I've spoke with Bricklinkers and all that, and it'll be really cool as we get into this to unearth the differences between the two and the strengths and the like which one you prefer and all that. But yeah, you must be You must be keeping busy, that's for sure. But before, so around all of that, where are you at in like life? Are you at uni right now, or?
Yeah, I'm at university studying business and marketing. Very douchebag course, but yeah, it's all right. I've got. I'm the hardest working 19-year-old, of course, obviously. Yeah, I go to work with my dad, and I've got another part-time job, and then I've got the Bricklink going on as well, and the Brick Owl, obviously.
You sleep?
But yeah, sometimes. But nah, I'm not. I don't like saying I'm busy because it's like I still have time to watch Hawkeye, still got time to stream Battlefront. So it's like if I've got time for that, I can do other things. But yeah, I don't have as much free time as I used to.
Well, I'm not surprised really, if with all that, but it's commendable. A lot of people wouldn't. So good on you. How far are you into your uni course of business and marketing?
Just finished
Year two?
trimester 1, year 1.
Right. All right. Okay. Are you away for uni, or are you at your home uni?
Yeah, home one. It's 10 minutes away.
That makes sense, obviously, if you're working for your dad's company and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
how are you finding it? How's uni life treating you? Do you ever get, with everything else that you've got going on, do you ever have a chance to go out and live the uni social life?
I maybe go out like every few weekends, but that's about it. Because a lot of my friends went away to university,
Of course.
so the ones that stayed, and they're all busy with apprenticeships and jobs and stuff, and it's hard to get everyone out at the same time. But
Doesn't get easier.
no.
But no, maximize it. Just get out as you can. But
Mm-hmm.
sweet.
Yeah.
So amongst all, so I'm guessing last year you would have been, was it last year you finished your A levels, or did you take a year off?
I went to college and got a level
Right.
3 extended diploma in games design.
Nice.
But I don't think I'm going to be a games designer. Towards the end of the course, it got very tedious. Like at the start, it's fun, just playing. We played Destiny pretty much every day. We was at university. We played a lot more games than we probably should have done, and it was pretty fun. But then at the end, when I actually had to make my own stuff and start coding and that, it just got very tedious and boring. So I didn't carry it on.
Do you know what I love about this, right? So you studied in games design. You're now on a business and marketing course. You would think like you're made for like online streaming of gaming. Like it feels like all of those pieces are there. Yet when we go on TikTok and see you playing Battlefront 2, you're sat with your camera pointed at your screen with a bathroom mirror pointed at your face so you can see it. And I like, as inspired as that is, it's I wouldn't expect that from someone who's studied game design and business and marketing. But hey, I suppose it makes you stand out. That's for sure. But well played on that one.
It's just so much simpler.
It is. I can honestly say I've considered it myself. So fair play to you. Fair play.
Yeah.
But amongst all that, so last year studying level 3 diploma in games design, moving into uni. At what point did you start all of this? And where did you start? So you've got, like I say, you've got a couple of TikToks, you've got a couple of Instagrams, you've got Twitch. Like, where did it all start? And then where did it gather momentum?
Well, I had a TikTok account before I had the Darth Walker one, and you were one of the first TikTokers I ever followed on my other account, like the one I had
Nice.
before this. Yeah.
An honor.
I think it's
An
the
absolute all my
consistency
fault.
because you were always on my For You page. Because like, yeah,
Wore you down.
yeah, basically, yeah. My friends were all like, "Oh, look, these TikToks, they're hilarious. You should download TikTok again." And this was like halfway through last year. So I downloaded it again, thinking it was garbage, just cringe. And then it picked up the algorithm that I like Lego and Star Wars, and that's all I was seeing from now on. I was like, oh, actually, you know, there's stuff of value on this app. And I started making my own cringe TikToks. I didn't upload them, just sent them to the group chat. And then only one of my other friends liked Star Wars. And so when I started making Star Wars videos, I'm sending them to one person. And I was like, well, it's a lot of effort just to make one guy giggle. So I decided to make a completely new account, uploaded like the 13 videos I'd made, and then forgot about it. Came back to it like a week later, and I had 40 followers. 4 of the videos were removed for violating community guidelines.
In true Star Wars fashion.
Yeah. And I had about like 300 likes or something. I was like, oh, damn. So I just started uploading TikToks. And this was in February of this year when I uploaded my first TikTok, I think.
How is that all? It's weird because it's hard to judge, but people like yourself and Mac Bricks, I feel like you've both been kind of around forever. But I suppose like in some ways, February, you think, okay, it's like 9-10 months ago, but at the same time, like when you actually think of what was going on back then, it also feels a lifetime. It's out the window, but that's like, it's commendable to done everything you've done and kind of go from there. And you're, of course, very brave to have gone into Star Wars TikTok as well and Star Wars social media, where it can get a little bit tasty at times and get a little bit hostile. Have you encountered any of that yet?
I'm pretty lucky because I think it's a lot of the informational people that breed the toxicity, because they're like, you know, they talk about stuff and then the people don't want to accept what happens, and then they come in and they're typing and everything. But because I just sort of make memes, people don't really have an issue with that. So
true.
I don't get too much, but there's the odd person here and there.
Yeah, well, you always get it, and I'm the same. I've seen a lot of other earfalls get a lot of grief for kind of like people saying, "Oh, you're too old for Lego" and all that. But I think I can probably count on one hand in the whole time I've been doing TikTok, like how many times it's happened. So I'm pretty bright red in that sense. But because this is the first time we've properly spoke like this, but I feel like we've spoke a lot, probably through like comment sections of videos, but then also comments of like live streams and stuff. So I'm trying to kind of piece together what we already know. But if I'm right in thinking, I think through either COVID or through all of this, you got into reading a lot about Star Wars. Yeah, that's not kind of something that's all. Is that right? That you've really picked that up recently? And if that is right, what was it, the TikTok kind of platform that encouraged you to read more, or was it because you've been reading more that encouraged you to do more TikToks?
I think it was like I got back into Star Wars in like 2020. Showed my brother all the films for the first time. Got back into it, and then watched all of Clone Wars for the first time in a row. I'd watched Clone Wars before when I was a kid, but I'd never watched the whole series in a row. And I decided to watch Rebels for the first time. And after that, I was just strapped for content. So I decided to dive into more. And then I decided to make videos on the stuff that I'd read every now and again. But yeah, I don't think really one of them influenced the other. I just wanted more Star Wars when we wasn't getting any.
Yeah, and I think that's the good thing about certainly Star Wars TikTok. Whilst it has those kind of bad eggs that we touched upon, and people who, I think there's a guy kicking around at the moment who's some American guy, I don't even know his name, and I see him pop up every now and then, and he just drops kind of like hot takes, but they're total they're total clickbait. I can't remember his name, and I can't even remember what he's saying.
I kind of think I know what you mean. Who you talking about? He's got
like longish, like shoulder length hair. Yeah. So he's clearly in it for clickbait. Like it's just that, and there's toxic fanboys who'll jump on it with him. But I think other than that, like Jedi Connor, you said I was one of the first people you'd followed. He is. If you go down to the bottom of my following and who I follow, he and Darth Choco are the two of the first people I followed, and I was probably ready to leave TikTok at that point. Like I was just thinking, like I'm done. Like, and then I got drew into Star Wars TikTok, that then pulled me into Lego Star Wars TikTok, and then I kind of steered and felt like I had a platform to do it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool place to be, whether you're whether you're just a viewer or whether you feel actually I can start to contribute to this as well.
Yeah, well, we've got Connor and Choco to thank for you being here then.
Well, and you know, everyone, I think just the community as a whole, you know, I just think it's there's people who inspire you to create, but then there's also people who inspire you to stay as well. So yeah, we all do a good job, that's for sure. But yeah, it's so with the Lego stuff, was the Lego stuff was that a kind of a hangover from your younger years that you've carried on, or again, like we've seen with a lot of people, did the pandemic and TikTok and all that encourage you to get back into it and watching Star Wars again?
Absolutely, yeah. Like I sort of stopped watching, fell out of love with Star Wars around 2018, I suppose. Like it was towards my last years of secondary school, and instead I just decided to be a cool kid instead. Not watching Star Wars and playing with Lego anymore. Yeah. You know, I'm spending all my money on clothes, spending all my time out chefing people up, you know, roadman style, grafting and that. And then then I left school and stopped caring completely, and as I say, I showed my brother the films because he'd never seen them, and I used to love them. And yeah, love Lego all my life, ever since I was a kid. It was like the best thing ever. But yeah, as I say, I stopped buying it, and then 2020 came around and started watching Star Wars again. So then I started getting Lego Star Wars sets again, and then I started getting other Lego sets, getting other things as well. Mainly Star Wars though. But yeah, they definitely coincide, Star Wars and Lego. When my love for one rises, the love for the other rises.
Yeah. No, 100% on that. With the just touched on it there, but you've done a lot of reading in the Star Wars stuff. And I think you were saying you'd read, I think the last thing I heard you talking about was when you'd read the Kylo Ren comics run. Is that right? Did you read that one?
No, I think I've read the Galaxy's Edge comics.
Right.
Is what I commented on your TikTok, Instagram post.
Possibly.
I haven't read the Kylo Ren ones.
Have you read much around, because I don't know what's in the Galaxy's Edge stuff, but have you read much in the sequel space?
No, I think that Galaxy's Edge stuff is the only stuff in the sequel space I've read.
Right. So in that case then, what is your, well, I haven't done this for a while actually, so let's ask, do you have your 1 to 11? Do you know how to do it? Do you know what you are? Get comfortable, everyone.
Yeah. 8, 9, 7, 2, 1, 4, 5, 3. No, 6, 3.
6, 3.
Yeah, so okay. Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, The Phantom Menace, A New Hope. No, then Return of the Jedi, then Empire Strikes Back, then Revenge of the Sith.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you have Last Jedi last. I'm surprised anybody does, to be honest. Not because of like it's. I know a lot of people argue it's a lot higher, but it's more like for Rise of Skywalker. Really, I always think it's just going to end up at the bottom.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing by that you're not a big lover of the sequels, or is it that they
no.
just don't rank?
Yeah, I don't have anything against the sequels. There's bits in them that I enjoy. I mean, I can watch any Star Wars film happily.
This is a good point, yes.
But yeah, I much prefer to watch any of the Star Wars film other than The Last Jedi, just because, like, I feel like the only reason I put Rise of Skywalker over it is because Rise of Skywalker has more moments that just really hit home. Some of them are, you know, they're a bit cheap, but a bit cheesy, I feel, but get you in the feels. They feel like proper Star Wars moments, like, you know, Poe when he comes over the Star Destroyer and then Lando comes in with all the people, you know. Hope is a big theme in Star Wars. And when Luke rises the X-Wing out the water like he couldn't do in Empire. And yeah, there's a few moments in that film that get me. Whether it's The Last Jedi, I don't really like the way that they use Luke. I mean, I don't have a problem with you know, him going away or whatever, you know. Understandable, I suppose, but I would have preferred them to do something else, I suppose. There isn't moments in that film that really hit me as hard as they do in the other films.
Yeah, I think I get that. Like, I'm not really against anything that they tried to do. I always just think it's more how they did it. I just think they're quite clunky throughout comparatively. Obviously, the prequels were probably pretty easy to make as far as storytelling was concerned, because the story was already written and it kind of had to follow that narrative. The originals, there was nothing else to compare to. So, and you know, they were epic before I was even born. So I was just brought up on the fact that here's these epic films that we all love and watch. So kind of crack on. But yeah, it's a funny one. Where would you put? What about Solo and Rogue One?
I would probably put. I would maybe put Rogue One above Attack of the Clones. And then Solo above Attack of the Clones as well, but under Rogue One maybe. I think they're both the same. Rogue One and Solo are about the same. It's just Rogue One has that insane third act, but then the first two acts let it down, so it sort of evens out the whole film. Because obviously, for third act sick, first two meh, so it sort of comes out.
Yeah, you always walk away from a film kind of feeling how you feel in that moment. Like, it's all of us about how it ends, right? Isn't it? And it ends so. And I think there's the other side as well. As much as Solo, obviously Han Solo is connected to the original trilogy and even the sequel trilogy, it's almost standalone. Like that could very easily have just been any other character. It didn't have to be. And I think that's whereas Rogue One is so iconic, that story and all the Easter eggs, and then obviously that final scene, which is possibly the greatest scene in Star Wars cinematic history.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Solo. It's like, I like the film. It's fun. It's enjoyable. You know, it's Han off on a mission. You know, on the Falcon, they do the Kessel Run. It's nice. It's enjoyable to watch. I like the sort of double cross ending. It's nice. But I think it's consistently good all the way through. It just doesn't blow you away. Whereas Rogue One, the ending blows you away, but the first two acts are a bit. It is what it is. So they're sort of on the same level for me altogether.
Yeah, no, I get you. TV shows, I would ask you to rank them because I don't think you really can. I think they're not. You can't compare them.
I couldn't.
I just think everything has its own strengths, but like, obviously Clone Wars. I'm guessing if Revenge of the Sith is your kind of number one film, then you know your love for the Clone Wars must be pretty high because it tends to be that the two tie in.
Yeah, but you know, I couldn't say I like it better than Rebels, but I couldn't say I like Rebels better than Clone Wars either.
You beat me to that one. I was going to say, dare you say that, but it's tough though, isn't it? And I say this, it's like Clone Wars has the absolute heights, and Rebels can't get anywhere near it, but Rebels is just up there so much more. So
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like it's the same situation. Brixton. Anyway, yeah. I think it's the similar situation to Solo and Rogue One. It's like they sort of both balance out because I feel like Clone Wars has more S tier episodes than Rebels, but Clone Wars also has more F tier episodes than Rebels.
Yeah.
Whereas Rebels is consistently solid and then reaches peaks a few times here and there.
Yeah, and I think probably looking back, like what we know now as well, like Rebels, what's probably made Rebels even better now, and what has made it better over the last 12 months is we now know it has a future connection. Like it's not done. Whereas like is that it sort of thing? It ends. But yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes. Need we even comment on the Mandalorian? Do we just put that as in absolute god tier and just see it
Absolutely.
as what it is?
Yeah, like I swear, I can't prove it, but I swear I levitated for a second when Luke Skywalker shows up. Like I was not touching my chair and my butt lifted off it. I swear down.
I think that was me when Boba turned up at the first episode of season 2.
For sure.
I was like, what? And then when he came back in on Tython with Slave One, I was like, oh, like that was. And like I did a TikTok on it at the time, like about a couple of days later, because the 20th anniversary Slave One, which you can see there, that was retired, but it was still available in like Smith's Toy, like one Smith's Toy Store, must have been the last one in the country. And I'd seen it like 2 days before. And I was like, I'm going to have to go and get it. Like, I'm going to have to go and buy it. And I think I'd sat on my shelf for like 6 months, sealed, because I couldn't bring myself to open it. But
yeah, I remember. I think you made a couple of videos about it.
Yeah, I'd made that was one of the that was probably one of the videos that got me the most hate from Lego fans because I'd used the Kylo Ren sound of like I know what I've got to do, but I don't know how I've got the strength to do it. And it was like when it comes to opening or building your next set, but it's doubled in value because it's retired. And like the comments were like, you build it, you buy these things to build, you don't display them in a box. I was like, I am building it. It's basically a meme. Like, chill out.
Yeah.
But
it'll get built on like the Death Star.
Well, that's still in my kitchen. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with that. Like, I have no motivation. Like, honestly, I'd sell it for £100 and put it towards getting the £400 one before it's totally gone off our shelves. Oh, honestly. Well, I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger on it, but that's an option. It's a viable option, and if it is, I'll let you know. Where are you from? You definitely northern, aren't you?
Yeah, just northern. Northeast Lincolnshire, Cleethorpes.
Right. Okay.
Grimsby, Humberston, same thing, all the same place, really.
Northern by your standards, but not by mine. Not when you're not when you're this far north, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Luke Skywalker thing. Like, did you? At what point in that scene, from when you see the X-wing, at what point did you think that's Luke Skywalker? Like, I didn't want to. I don't know if I didn't convince myself to believe it until like we actually saw him.
Yeah. Put on my acting face. We can do a recreation. X-wing comes in. Is that Luke? I was like, as soon as the X-wing came in, I was like, one X-wing. Oh, it's got to be Luke. It's got to be Luke. It's got to be Luke. I predicted Luke was going to be in the episode 3 episodes ago as well. I said, like, for sure, Luke is going to be in this last episode. I was like, it has to be. But yeah, the X-wing turns up, and I was like, oh, it's got to be Luke. It's got to be Luke. And then I saw the hood, and I was like, oh my god, it is. And then you see the green lightsaber, and then I started levitating.
It was just the way he went off as well. Like, it was the perfect replica of like Vader's scene. And what's very clever as well is that it was the the Dark Troopers, that it
Mm.
wasn't stormtroopers, because a Jedi couldn't go off like that on people.
No,
But it can,
yeah.
so, and that was something that kind of registered to me when you talk about like the Clone Wars and how they use droids to like sucker them in and stuff. And I was like, that's actually what they've done there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I've never really thought about that, actually. That's good, yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's a bit of insight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was epic. I'm really interested to know where it's going with Luke and Grogu, with like if at all, and all that, and Mando season 3. And then if Mando turns up in Boba Fett, I kind of hope he doesn't. I hope they kind of split up and go their own way. But it's hard to say what you think will happen, but what are you kind of hoping will happen over those shows? And
I mean, Mando, a lot of people have thrown this idea around that it's going to be Game of Thrones on Mandalore. They go to Mandalore, they're trying to take back the planet with Bo-Katan and Din, and Din's potentially Bo-Katan and Din are either going to be at each other, or perhaps Bo-Katan is not going to want to fight Din and beat his ass, so she just teaches him how to rule instead. And then Din becomes the ruler of Mandalore. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that.
No.
But
No,
I could definitely see Siege of Mandalore Part 2 happening and Din being the ruler. I could potentially see that happening. I don't know if I'd want it, because I like how small a scale Din Djarin is. But
yeah,
I could see it happening.
I think the only thing as well is, if the show wasn't called The Mandalorian, if it was called The Bounty Hunter, then I would probably think actually they're not going that way. But because it is called The Mandalorian, like if it then goes back to Mandalore, there's a heavy kind of thought there to say, well, they are pushing that thing of him taking over, which maybe he'll secede himself. But do you know what? There's like, for me, there's no second guessing it. It's like, think about season 2. Who predicted that? Like, we just didn't have a clue, did we? So, well, what did you predict?
I predicted Luke Skywalker in the final episode.
Yeah, but
Ahsoka.
You predicted that mid-season, though. What I mean is, like, at this stage before the series. Did you predict that?
Wait. Huh?
So you said you predicted Luke Skywalker 3 episodes, like the third from last. So you had hints, like we started to get a feel that, that I'm guessing that was the Tython episode. So we knew that Grogu had reached out potentially to a Jedi and reached out through the Force. But like, even that, we had no idea that was going to happen. Even when like the season 2 trailer come out, like that gave nothing away.
Oh, you mean like, predicting it before the series came out? No.
Yeah.
No.
I'll 100% give you credit for the Luke Skywalker thing, because it was well spot.
Harrison Dawler in Bad Batch as well. Darth Veritas can attest.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How did you? What tipped you off towards that? What made you think that was going to happen?
The episode titles got leaked.
Right. Well, you can't predict something if it's leaked.
It didn't say Harrison Dawler in the title.
Right. Okay.
It said Rescue on Ryloth. And I was like, Rescue on Ryloth? Who's on Ryloth? What they're trying to connect? It's Harrison Dawler.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one.
Mic drop.
What was your generally? I always forget about Bad Batch, and I don't know why. But what did you? General thoughts on it?
Thought it was pretty great. Ending wasn't exactly explosive, but well, I mean, it was for Camino, but in terms of how it actually is, I mean, I know a lot of people were disappointed with the ending. I thought it was calm. I think it's still better than Clone Wars season 1. But yeah, I thought it was pretty nice. It's not Mandalorian. We're not having an hour-long episode each week with huge plot and stuff. if it all came out in one go, I think people would have a much higher opinion of it. If it all just released together and they could just binge it.
Rather than like having a subdued episode and then having like, because then you feel like that's a nothing episode.
Yeah.
I'm waiting 2 weeks. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I do agree as well that like they've established a lot, and as you see it, the first series of Clone Wars was nothing like mega exciting, especially when you go back and watch it by what we know now. So yeah, let's kind of judge it where it ends, not where it starts. But do you know that last episode though, the more I think about it, and I'm probably ready to go back and watch that series, like the whole series again now, and do what you say, like probably watch it in 3-4 parts. But that last episode, like, because I love Crosshair, and I see it, and the more I talk about it, the more that I love that he made that conscious choice to fight for the Empire. I love that, and I really want to see where that goes.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking about though is he's there on the landing platform. They leave him. What's he gonna do? Can't fly. There's no
they do
ships around.
see
The Empire just tried to blow him up.
Well, they did say we need to get out of here before Imperial scouts turn up and check us and scout the planet. So I'm assuming that's the only reference that because you would imagine they would do that after they've blown it up. They would send scouts down to see if there's kind of anything kicking around. But
because it's like the Empire don't care about him. They said that like the guy when Admiral Rampart was about to blow up, they were like, Crosshair's on there, and he's like, so?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they don't care about him, so I don't know why he's expecting them to come find him, patch him up, and get him back in command again or something. So
I think it's very much that thing that they'll find him, but not because they're looking for him. But that's all it'll be. It's like, oh, there's Crosshair. We probably should pick him up and then go from there. And it'll be interesting to see if they show that, like where they kick off season 2 from, or whether they start, because we have no idea where it's going. We have no idea where it's going to end. There's potentially 19 years to fill. Where do they drop that? Like, how do they start jumping ahead a couple of years to age Omega? Who knows?
Yeah, people were talking about Omega and Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. I doubt it, but people have been talking about it. And Daniel Logan, who plays young Boba Fett in episode 2, was posting pictures of it on his Instagram saying like, oh, I'm in Boba Fett show confirmed, with a picture of him in a blonde wig on his Instagram. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I feel like if it's too soon to do that, I'm all for it. I'm all like in whatever way, but it is too soon. Do you know what? Maybe she'll pop up in The Mandalorian because she is technically Jango Fett's child. So who knows? But I think too soon. Here's a question that it's a very common question, but I'm going to ask them in a different way. But we're getting so much Star Wars next year, and everybody's always like, what are you most excited for? And I always say kind of, well, as excited as I'm for Kenobi, it's not on our doorstep yet. So, and then like Ahsoka, I think is even further away, and then like things are getting cancelled, pushed back. But from what we know, if they were all kind of dropping tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., like
Santa's coming at that.
What would you watch first? Like, what would be the one that you think I have to watch that?
I'd watch Kenobi first. But like, if those coming out tomorrow, I'd watch Kenobi first. But if one show but it's between Ahsoka and Kenobi are the two main ones. But if the question was which one has to get cancelled, one has to carry on, I would get Kenobi cancelled because Ahsoka's going to do more for the story and the overall universe than Kenobi. So it's like I want Ahsoka more, but I want to watch Kenobi now.
Yeah. Can you imagine being that guy? Can you imagine like Disney turned around and were like, Harvey, one will have a 3-series run, the other is cancelled and will never be aired. You have to make that decision, and you turn around and cancel Kenobi. I don't. I think you would have to delete
Yeah, I
all
would.
of your social.
It would be, yeah, it would be an atonement. I'd be walking through the streets, pelting tomatoes at me and stuff.
Are you hoping for Battle of the Heroes round 2 in Kenobi?
Well, I mean, it's confirmed that they're fighting, but how they're fighting is the question. Because, you know, Kathleen Kennedy said rematch of the century, you know, this concept art of them brawling. But I think it's going to be like a vision.
I
like
mean, it's
in
not
the
like
comics.
Lucasfilm to swerve us, though, is it, in the Disney era? So, like, you never know.
Yeah, I reckon there's going to be a battle scene. I think the thing is, it's like a vision, like in the comics, makes the most sense. Like, but at the same time, are they going to do that to us? They're like, yeah, here's this big epic match. Oh, yeah, it was just a dream. There's less emotion there that you're obviously going to want with Vader versus Kenobi. And if it's a vision, it kind of tames it down. But at the same time, it's like, how can you get them to fight realistically without it being so contrived? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it'll be such an anticlimax because we know nothing will happen significant to either. Like Kenobi will not be hurt. He's not going to lose limbs because he didn't lose any limbs. I suppose Vader could because he would just get them reattached and all that. But again, like how significant is that? But yeah, I think that's my hope, and it was for that reason that I didn't really want it to happen. I'd rather, I'm so hyped that Vader's in it, but I would rather have seen what I would love to have seen, and we'll see what happens. But if like we see Vader's like turmoil and anger still at Kenobi, like 10 years on, and he's desperate to find him, and he almost finds him through the Inquisitor, which we know the fifth brother's going to be in there. And then basically Kenobi has to take the fifth brother out, and you know, maybe they have a close encounter, but Kenobi knows best to not get him. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I thought a very heartbreaking thing that would happen. I mean, I would say it maybe feels a tiny bit contrived, but it would be an incredibly emotional sequence if Cody, the Empire's like, you know, Vader's like, you know, we need to find Obi-Wan Kenobi. They've got the list up for the Inquisitors of Jedi to hunt down, and Vader's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi's on that list. You know, Cody was like Obi-Wan's busy mate. It's his right-hand man. So who do we get to hunt down? Who better to hunt down Obi-Wan Kenobi than Commander Cody? So they get Commander Cody to hunt him down, and the only way to stop the Empire from finding out that Obi-Wan's on Tatooine is for Obi-Wan to kill Cody. That would just be horrendous.
That would be awesome. I would love to see something like that. And I hope we get some Cody like screen time as well. Yeah, that would be awesome. And I think it's a great way of, especially because of what they did with Rex, and they showed like Rex can like resist and to an extent, and you know, and but then Cody just, and I get that it was written at a different time and they hadn't thought that far along, but Cody was like, yeah, take him out. Like, no, so he is the bad guy essentially in that sense. So you don't feel bad for him, but because of the Clone Wars, we still have a soft spot for him. Like Phase 2 Commander Cody is probably the single most wanted Lego figure in the Star Wars theme, like for the last however long.
I got Phase 1 Cody the other day.
Did you?
Off on the Bricklink store.
Is it on the Bricklink store?
It will be soon.
Right. Right, we'll come back to that. Because I do have some questions, but nice. Just the fig, or did you get the set that it came in?
Just the fig. I got the fig from a friend. I found it in his bin.
What? I hope you mean his Lego bin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just got hungry, so I was rooting through his trash. It had everything apart from, I think it's called like the Karma or whatever it is, like the waist skirt thing.
The grey one.
Yeah, had everything but that. So I ordered one for £4 to complete the fig.
Nice. Nice. It's good. And do you know, with the Phase 1 clone battle pack coming out, it's a hell of a time to have it.
Yeah, true. I might hold on to it till then. Who knows?
I would. I'm just saying, I definitely would, so put it all together. Hoth figures and all that are going up with everything that's going on.
Oh, yeah, I've got plenty of Hoth figures.
I'm all about that Rebel pack. I probably won't get the clone one just because I'm not a clone guy, but I'll definitely get that Rebel battle pack, I think.
For sure.
And build a bit of an army. I love this, by the way. So, picture this. Obi-Wan and Vader fight. They finish, and it's a stalemate. Obi-Wan retreats. Then Obi-Wan returns, severely injured, and he has a moment knowing Anakin is truly gone. Then we see them. Then we see the same from Vader, battle damaged, armor brushing it off, and pushing down his feelings for Obi-Wan. That would be awesome. I think that would work like that, because that's the concern, right? Like they have to battle. It's essentially a stalemate. Nobody really wins, but then kind of how does it become worth what? Like what is the value there? And I think Darth Veritas, you've definitely offered a good way of kind of spinning that to make it worthwhile, especially from Obi-Wan's perspective, to know that that is not Anakin anymore. That is him. And then that totally makes sense around when we see what in Rebels as well.
Yeah, I was about to say they can parallel that with Ahsoka. Maybe throw in a similar shot or something. Like, the close-up of the side when she's like, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it will. It will indeed. Stepping away from Star Wars a bit, because we could talk about Star Wars forever, and we're like halfway through already. Yeah, but touched on at the very beginning, you watched Hawkeye. I think that's the thing. Like we're all predominantly Star Wars people, but like fans, but we all love Marvel as well. But it's like it's there. But how are you enjoying? Probably, I suppose we all love Marvel, but if you see like the post-Endgame era, like it's a bit different. It's obviously just giving us time to breathe. How are you enjoying like the TV shows?
I'm enjoying the TV shows more than the movies for sure. Just because they're focusing on characters that I already like. Whereas I still haven't seen Shang-Chi. I've been meaning to watch it now. It's on Disney Plus. I just haven't found the right time to sit down and watch it. Still haven't watched Eternals either. Watched Black Widow when that came on Disney Plus. But it's like I never read the Marvel comics. I'm a big DC guy. So, I've read a bunch of Batman comics. I've watched all the Batman animated shows, all the DC animated movies and stuff like that. Whether as Marvel, when I was a kid, I mean, I've loved Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always been my second favorite or joint first favorite superhero. So I watched the Spider-Man animated shows when I was a kid. So I know a bit about the Marvel characters and stuff. But like, I've never heard of the Eternals. I've barely recognized Shang-Chi. So it's like I'm not rushing to the cinema to see their new solo film. But yeah, to go and see Loki in his own show, Wanda in their own show, Hawkeye, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that's something that I really want to see.
Yeah. It's it's an interesting thing, but what I would see is like see a Wanda. Let's use Wanda as an example. If we'd released the Wanda series 5-6 years ago, even if it was immediately after Age of Ultron, you'd probably be thinking the same. It's like, I don't know who these people are, or you don't know enough about them. So there's certainly a lot of like casual fans would be as well who haven't read comics and stuff. Would just be like, I don't know who they are. Even 10 years ago, there was no love or desire for the Avengers as a whole. So
that's why Marvel got them so cheap, or Disney.
Well,
or whatever it was.
So yeah, I think I do take your point, and it's sometimes that thing where you have to, for those other ones like Black Widow comes out and you're like, well, it's Black Widow, I've got to go and see Black Widow. Whereas Shang-Chi, Eternals, it's almost like, right, I need to make a conscious effort to go and see them in that sense. But things are coming out a lot quicker on Disney Plus. And do you know, this is the exact reason I got my unlimited card, because I wouldn't have gone and seen those films, but because it's essentially free for me because I'm paying £13 a month, then it's like, well, I can go. I've got no excuse not to go, and it does pay dividends. But
yeah, I'd love to get one of them.
mate.
But that local cinema's garbage.
Which one is it?
It's a Parkway cinema. There's like 4 of them in the UK.
Right.
The trash.
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm not getting one for there. So when a big blockbuster film like Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, I book it to go and see the Odeon and drive 40 minutes to go to the cinema to watch the film in an Odeon cinema. So it's like I can't get it for the Odeon cinema because then I'm driving 40 minutes every few weeks to go and see a new film. I can't get it for my cinema because then when a good film comes out, I'll go and watch it at the other one. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Do you know, right? So I look that like Odeon is mine, so I use Limitless, and it was like 13 quid a month. It started like the first month was $9.99, and now they're doing it for $12.99. I'm expecting that to go up very soon, but there's no contract on it. But they wouldn't let me book No Way Home on the Wednesday or the Thursday with the Limitless card. I had to book it for the Friday. So, because I would have had to pay £15, and I was like, I'm not going to pay for one film more than I pay for a month's worth. Our principles kicked in. So, but that's
because
really
if you can only watch one film a month, or if there's only one film that you want to watch out in a month, then you need to watch it to get your month's worth of your unlimited card.
I know, shocking. That rubbed me up the wrong way. So I'm going to have to go on a 48-hour media blackout and watch it on the Friday. But yeah, I can't risk that being done. How are you enjoying Hawkeye and as Darth Vader acts? Do you thoughts on the Kingpin? I know that's been heavily rumored after this week's episode.
Spoilers. I'm loving it so far. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, I was always like, stop hating on Hawkeye. He's a good guy. He's got a family. He's got kids. He's a cool guy. Stop hating on Hawkeye. And then he got his own show, and I think it's great. So,
is it though? So, I totally agree. But then, is it that thing whereby they've given him his own show to give him his ending?
Yeah, perhaps.
I just hope they retire him to the farm because he's got his farm, he's got his kids and his family. I hope they're like. He just hands over the mantle, hands over his bow and arrow, and is like, there you go, please. But have you seen the stuff about the Kingpin?
I have. I haven't watched Daredevil, so I can't comment on him.
The rumor is, though, that, apparently they're going to like bulk this version up, if that is the case. So whether it's going to be the same one from the Daredevil universe or not, I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah, because I've heard like people comparing the laughs are like the same or whatever.
Right.
Like I heard people take the laugh from the Hawkeye episode and take his laugh from the show, and it's like the exact same sound or whatever.
Right.
That's what I heard. So I thought it was like they were teasing it that it was going to be him, but I haven't seen Daredevil, so I can't comment.
Yeah, it's I do you know what? I need to go back and watch that. I think I watched the first season of Daredevil, and then when the second released, I just never went back to it. Not for any reason. I just never went back to it, but feels like now's the time. And I don't know about you as well, but this weekend, I know Odeon are doing next weekend. They're putting the first two Spider-Man No Way Homecoming and then Far From Home on the cinema Saturday and Sunday.
I watched all the Spider-Man films in like 2 weeks, like a week ago.
Did you stream them somewhat illegally, or did you use legitimate channers? Because they're scattered all over, aren't they?
I did use I did sail the high seas for Far From Home and Homecoming, but the others I used Now TV for. I got 1 month for £1, so I bought it and just watched because I saw all the Spider-Man films on there. So I just bought it first month for £1, watched them all, and watched Game of Thrones for the first time because that was on there as well.
All of it?
Yep.
Well, this is interesting then, because I've never talked about Game of Thrones on here properly, but I've never known anybody to watch it so recently, certainly not within the kind of the original runtime, but then obviously to have binged it start to finish.
Well, I'm on
what are you-
season 8, episode
All
2.
right. Season 8, the
So-
last series, it is, isn't it?
I've literally got like 5 episodes left.
Right. How are you finding it so far then?
Pretty great. Season 4, I think it peaked. I thought that was incredible. But yeah, I
What
mean,
happened
I'm
in
enjoying it
season
so
4?
far. There was like the siege on Castle Black.
Yeah.
With Jon defending it, and Tyrion getting accused of Joffrey's murder.
Yeah, that was the best series by far. Oh, it's I don't know, like I feel like I want to get you back on to like once you've watched them last episodes, just to be like,
yeah, because I've heard it's
just rushed. Like for me, it's just very rushed, and you're like, what? Like I expected so much more from it.
Yeah, I heard because Disney offered the 2 guys who were adapting it for TV or whatever Star Wars, and they were like, sure, let's rush this out, because HBO even said, we can give you another 2 seasons, and they're like, nah, we'll get it done in 1, move on to Star Wars, and then their Star Wars project got cancelled.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I feel like if we got a decent Star Wars project on the back of it, then it would have been like, all right, fair enough as a Star Wars fan.
Fair trade-off.
Like we've been screwed in every sense of the word, basically. Like we've just all been taken away. But yeah, and do you know, it's a shame because they've just released the trailer. I see it just a couple of weeks ago for the House of Dragons series, which is the flashback to the kind of the Targaryen household. But nobody is talking about it whatsoever because everybody is just still railing from Game of Thrones, which is a bit probably overkill, but never mind.
Well, I see Brixton in the chat saying, I haven't seen a single clip of Game of Thrones. I am willing to bet he's at least seen 1 clip of Game of Thrones. Specific ones. Specific scenes.
Would you like to name that scene?
There are multiple scenes. A lot of them, in fact, that I am sure Brixton has seen. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, some are unavoidable.
Yeah. Tits and Dragons. What?
Never. I don't understand this. Like, I can kind of understand, like, when I speak to my mates who were like really boring and only watch like like documentaries and stuff about serial killers, which don't get me wrong, a good documentary on a serial killer is good, but then what I'm seeing is they're not kind of like fantasy or sci-fi fans. But if you're a Star Wars fan or like a Star Wars Marvel, I see it as all part of the same big kind of genre, really.
Nerd culture or whatever,
Yeah. And like, so Brixton, have you seen Harvey as well? Have you seen Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit?
No.
What?
I played the Hobbit video game on GameCube when I was like 6.
That doesn't count. Wow, what?
I saw a parody episode of it on The Big Bang Theory.
Which one?
Well, like at the end, Sheldon turns into a Gollum or whatever when they get the ring or replica ring or whatever.
Yeah. I would definitely recommend.
So I'm basically an expert on it.
Yeah. The better parody, though, is the South Park parody with the Lord of the Rings.
I haven't seen that one. I have watched South Park.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, dear. We've lost him. Hopefully he'll come back. Not sure what's happened there. Oh, no. We're talking about South Park as well. Oh, he's back. Sort of.
What on earth happened there? My phone just went to the home screen, just closed the browser.
Maybe it was just your phone was so just offended by you never seeing Lord of the Rings.
I don't know. It literally just closed the browser and just went to the home screen.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you back. I was genuinely worried there. I thought it was going to take a while and I'd have to talk me on. But yes, honestly, this South Park episode of Lord of the Rings is fantastic.
Yeah.
as a brief, I'll give you a very brief kind of like overview. But the parents, I don't know if it's like the parents are basically circulating a porn film or a porno, as they call it over there. Don't know why I said it in that accent. And it's called like Lord of the Ring or something like that. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's like basically a parody of it. And it doesn't show you anything, but it's absolute filth. Butters sees it and becomes obsessed with it and essentially becomes Gollum. Then the other guys who are cosplaying as and they're playing as Lord of the Rings take on a quest to return what they think is the actual Lord of the Rings film back to the video store. But then everybody gets wind that they've got this like super rude porn film, and everybody's trying to hunt them down before they basically get back to Blockbuster. It's like an epic episode. It was back when South Park was peaked.
South Park was good, yeah.
It's they don't do it. They did the pandemic special, but I
haven't seen that either. I haven't watched it in maybe about 5 years.
Yeah, it's
the last episode I remember watching was one where like Cartman buys his own theme park, and one where they're trying to stop Family Guy because they're going to show the Prophet Muhammad or something like that.
Yeah, and Buddy sees
those were the last ones I remember watching.
God, I think they were older. Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah, like I haven't watched it in years.
Well, it got really good when they were basically like making an episode through the week to then put out on the weekend. So it was very topical. It was very much about like what was going on, and they kind of like came to an end with that, with the Trump thing, because they were just saying like, look, there's nothing more satirical than Trump himself. Like, we can't be funnier than he is, like, about himself. So they kind of just like drew a line on it. But yeah, then they did the whole Randy Marsh moving off and creating a weed farm, and then like it's just filtered away from there. But it is still goated. It is still an absolute. People see Family Guy or Simpsons.
Family Guy, Family Guy is yeah.
But again, like I do love Family Guy, and I think the thing is it's on a lot for us. I see it's on ITV2. It's on pretty much every night, a couple of episodes, and they seem to play the same episode 3 times a week. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, it's always the same few episodes.
Oh, does my head in. But it is that thing where it's still kind of present in our minds, whereas the others aren't. I think The Simpsons is on like once a day, isn't it? I never watch The Simpsons anymore.
Watch them in ages.
Nah, but yeah, all pretty epic in that respect. But yes, do try and hunt down that one episode.
I will, yeah.
Actually,
I'll
forget about that.
Sailing.
Watch Lord of the Rings first.
Oh no, you're gonna hate me for this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I'm about to say.
He's not sorry.
I haven't watched Harry Potter.
I'm not offended by that.
Okay, okay.
I'm the other way. Like, I'm sick of the fucking sight of it, if I'm honest, because it's a bit like, ITV have the rights to it, so they stick it on every Saturday afternoon at 4:00. And you're like, oh, and then the missus is like, oh, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Oh, what again? Like, so I am surprised that more because I think it's unavoidable. Like, it's hard not to watch it sometimes.
I've seen the last one, and that's it. I had to study it for BTEC Media, so
without watching the other 7. Impressive. Yeah, fair play.
I know, because a lot of people crucify me for that.
Yeah, just I think, as I say, I wouldn't necessarily see you have to watch it. Like, I'm not offended by that in the same way as I am, because I'm totally honest. I am offended that you've never seen Lord of the Rings. Like, I like what, but no, it's more how you go through life without seeing Harry Potter. Just living in the UK, because it's like,
especially,
it's almost like a national treasure, isn't it? But never mind. Let's talk. So you mentioned earlier on about Cody and Brick Owl and Bricklink. So in the same way as we talked about the Star Wars stuff, like, when did were they motivated through social media and seeing Bricklink sellers and all that, or again, were you on there and thought, actually, I can use TikTok to push this? Or
Yeah, I didn't really know about Bricklink until I saw a video on YouTube that was just titled "How to Get Cheap Retired Lego Sets Easy 100%." Method.
How to build
and I was like,
how to build the Republic gunship or something for $60, but it's actually impossible to do.
Yeah, and it's like you just go on this website. It's called Bricklink. It's great. You part out all the pieces, and then you buy all the pieces individually. And I was like, so I checked out the website, and then I saw like Reese posting his Bricklink video, selling all his figures, and I was like, I've got a crap ton of old Lego. Like, because when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Ninjago, Chima, all those Nexo Knights, all of the different like kid-orientated battle. I didn't have a whole lot of Star Wars when I was a kid. Even though I loved Star Wars when I was a kid, I didn't buy a whole lot of Lego Star Wars because I loved the Ninjago stuff more and it was cheaper. So I was like, I found this big bag that I had. It was like this travel case for the Spinjitzu spinners. And like it folded out into like a battle arena for like when you spin them and they hit each other. And it had so many Ninjago figures in there. So I was like, I'll set up my store, got all my Ninjago figures listed. I think I had about £1,100 worth of stock when I first started, mainly from Ninjago minifigures, because I had all the snakes, all the OG snakes, like Pythor P. Chumsworth and his mates, and the Mandem. I had them all. So I had so much stock. So I was like, you know what? I can sell this off, buy the cantina. And then like 2 months later, trotted on down to the Lego store on May 4th and bought the cantina.
Nice. But it's like, that's how the economy works, isn't it? That's a good sense of like how to do it. And did you manage to sell it all then? Because I suppose I only ever really see the Star Wars stuff and a bit of Marvel stuff. But as a seller, I assume there are a lot of kids out there who still love Ninjago today.
Oh yeah, Ninjago is like my best seller. Like,
really? Is it because it's so
I
cheap?
get so many Ninjago orders.
It'll be easy to buy as well, is it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it was just mine. Like I had so hundreds of pounds worth of Ninjago stock, just that I had as a kid. And I'm coming up to almost £1,000 in sales on Bricklink and Brick Owl, and like across them both. And yeah, like 90% of that is Ninjago.
Fair dink. That's awesome. And I think, as I say, I don't know too much about it, but I know Bricklink has probably seen a massive uplift in sellers over the last 12 to 18 months because everybody thinks they can kind of make a lot of money off it. But I know that when I speak to people like yourself, Olivia, Reese, when we had him on, like it's not as easy as it looks. Like
it's not, no.
But then, so absolute fair play to you. But then so Bricklink came first? Where did Brick Owl come in, and what made you think, I'll have a look at this as well?
Well, basically, I applied for Bricklink because you have to go through the verification process.
Yeah.
Sent a selfie of me with my big tubs of Ninjago figures to the guys. I've literally got that figure. It's literally, because they say send a picture of your inventory room.
Yeah.
Inventory room? I've just got 4 tubs of figures here. So I literally just bent down, put them on my desk, sat under my desk and went like that and took a picture with it all. They verified me, but it took about a month and a half to get verified. Right. So in between that, I was like, I'm getting impatient. Sign up for Brick Owl, verified me the next day. Started selling on there first. And then finally Bricklink verified me. So it was literally just out of, I just want to get this sold. Stick it on Brick Owl first.
So when you're listing, so there you said about Commander Cody, if and when you come to list him, will you put him on both? Because obviously there's a risk that I know it's a small risk, but they could sell like at the same time and you can only honor one of the seals. Do you put more time and effort into one than the other, or one's a bit more of a backup? Or
well, I have this app. It's called Brick Packer, and it literally, as soon as you upload something on one store, uploads it to the other. As soon as you sell something on one store, takes it down on the other one.
Okay.
It does it all for you. So I would say I put more time and effort into my Bricklink because there's more customization options for your store there.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely put more effort into that. But I get more orders on Brickowl than I do on Bricklink. But no one leaves feedback.
So, because I know, I always leave feedback on Bricklink because a lot of stores will come back and give you like a 10% code to reorder, like if you've left positive feedback. Does Brickowl give you that sort of customized, like coupons and vouchers and all that? Can you, like, is it that in depth? Because obviously Bricklink's Lego, isn't it? So they've got so much more weight behind them.
Yeah, I think there's options to give discounts and stuff, but I haven't really played into it too much. I know Bricklink, you can literally just put in 10% off everything. Boom. I'm not sure how you go about it on Brickowl, but I'm sure you can. But yeah, Bricklink is definitely the one I put more effort into. But I sort of see more sales on Brickowl. So actually, I think they're coming to about even now. But yeah, I've got maybe 30 Bricklink orders. About 5 people have left feedback. I've left every single one of the buyers' feedback though, and one of them's neutral. The audacity of this man! It was perfect. I even recorded. I was like, "You bought some nice figures," so I wanted to prove that I had them figures just for my own personal thing. So I took a picture of the figures, shipped them off, and then he puts a review. Not the figures I ordered. Neutral. Well, if they're not the figures you ordered, then surely that's a negative experience, not a neutral experience. Yeah. I've got a picture right here of the figures that you ordered. They're the exact same. And I'm like, bruh, they're the same thing. And he never responded to me.
It might have been a fellow seller who is swooped in. I know. Yeah,
saw me popping off, rising up the food chain, newcomer, underdog. Had to put an end to it.
It's this thing though, isn't it, that collectors, because that's what we forget, is like you and I are, we are collectors. We have a collection, but we're not like hardcore collectors in that sense. Like, and some of these hardcore collectors who've been doing it for years, but kind of get it in, polish it, put it away nicely and display it, like it's next level for them. And any faults with it, and they just don't realize that the rest of the population's not at their level of thinking. But each to their own. I suppose that's enterprise for you, and it's what happens. I know it used to drive Reese mad. Like Reese, when anybody did it, you still message them.
Because he got like one negative feedback or something, didn't he? And he was going off about it, and he got the guy to remove it in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, because I think the way he did it is the guy had his own Bricklink store, so Reese placed an order from him, and then left negative feedback or something like that, and then they came to a mutual agreement to withdraw their negative feedback. Right. So I mean, fair play to him, but. Yeah, it's because it's obviously it defaults, doesn't it? When you search on Bricklink, it usually stacks in kind of review order and reputational order and all that, and you can just filter out any bad ones and all that. So, yeah, it's understandable. And nobody wants to break that 100 when it starts you on 100%. Like you don't want to break that 100%, do you?
Yeah, I don't know what mine's on. But yeah, it's like few positives and one neutral, and then on my Brickowl, it's like all positive.
Oh, there you go. And if you get more orders, it's a good thing. What are the fees like comparatively? Because do you just use PayPal across both?
Yeah. So I actually don't know if the fees are different on Brickowl and Bricklink. I actually don't know. But I know Bricklink take it straight away. As soon as the order's processed, they take their cut. Brickowl invoice you every month.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I just got mine today.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fees are.
It should be on the invoice. Should be able to work it out. But
Yeah,
if
I
you
can,
were
I can
to
look it up.
if you were to start again, so let's say both sites crashed, and then you had to start up again, or if like either reached out and said you can only, we no longer let you have a store with both, would you have a preference where you would go or stay? Would it be Bricklink? Would it be Brick Owl?
I would possibly say Bricklink, just because it's more official, more people know it, than Brick Owl. And I think like Reese said, he doesn't sell on Brick Owl because he would rather have more orders on Bricklink, and then he can build up his reputation on Bricklink instead of trying to build a reputation on both. It's better to focus on one. So yeah, because Bricklink is already more reputable than Brick Owl, I would just, if I could only do one, go on there, build up my reputation on a more reputable site.
Yeah, well, obviously it's Lego, isn't it? So they can do what they want. From a personal collection wise, what was the last set you bought? So was it this year you bought the Cantina on May the 4th? I'm guessing you might have bought something since then. What was the most recent thing you bought?
It was either Boba Fett's Starship or Boba Fett Slave One. I'm pretty sure is the last set I bought. Was it? No, it was the 8080.
That one.
Yeah.
Not the big 700 quid one.
No, the 2021. I remember I was just like, I saw the leaks for all the new Hoth sets next year, and I was like, well, I got to get on that 8080.
Yeah.
So I went to the shop, bought the 8080. So then I'm ready to get a Hoth display going on for next year with all the battle packs and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what they're doing with that. It's nice that they seem somewhat cohesive with themselves. Like it's almost like they'll do a big set, then they'll release a battle pack or a figure pack or something that's totally unrelated, and you can't kind of build a theme. But that's good. Wait, anything on the shelves right now that you think that's my next purchase? Anything you haven't got that you want?
I was actually I went to Meadowhall, which is a big shopping centre, yesterday. No, Friday, and I was planning on getting either the Stranger Things set or the Daily Bugle. Had my money, I was going to get it because I want them both. I could only get one, but I was going to decide while I was there. Depends if I saw any, because I was going to go to the Lego shop on my way out and see how much money I had left, because I wanted to get some clothes as well. And on the way there, I got hit. Well, as I was about to set off, I came round to my dad's in the morning because I was off with my dad. Came round and there was a letter left for me of an old insurance policy that I had to pay like 97 quid for a cancellation fee for my old insurance. So that put an end to that. So it's still between the Bugle or the Stranger Things set are my two most wanted larger sets.
So one, absolute wounder, that by the way, that happened. However, what I would say is it could have been, I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been that you went to the Lego store, came back home, spent all your money, and then we're hit with £100 quid bill, and you're like, shit, like I shouldn't have spent that money. So then like it could have tainted the build for you and all that. But
I don't know, because I could have just gone, I can't afford it. Dad, I think you got to pay for it because I don't have any money.
Or to be 19 again.
Yeah.
It is a good point though, but no, good points. And as Brixton said there, I'm Stranger Things thing. I've never I've known it's there. I appreciated it. I'm a bit like, but now I know it's retiring. I'm a bit like, do I get it? Do I not?
Yeah.
It is a nice set. It looks nice in the display case. It is a cool set. Daily Bugle's got probably at least another year to run. But is it officially? It is officially retiring soon, isn't it? But yeah, It's both epic sets and obviously very well tied to genre. I assume by that you've seen Stranger Things,
Yeah.
we
I've
we
just
can't
found
tell.
out as well. 3% for Bricklink, 2.5 for Brick Owl.
Well, there you go. That's
So,
all right.
About the same. But yeah, anyway, carry on.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, Stranger Things, I assume you've seen it, but never too sure if you've never watched Lord of the Rings and all that. So, you know. But no, it's good. It's good. It's a new series due out. I feel like I saw the the premiere for it. Like Straw Hat Goofy was there a couple of weeks ago. So is it due out soon?
Relatively soon, not this year. But next few months, I think.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just started the promos on it. I can't imagine it's, unless it is going to be set at Christmas. We'll see. Who knows?
No,
but,
I don't. There's been a couple of trailers, and I don't think it's not so Christmas.
No. Oh well, we'll see. What about retired sets? Is there any old, like, is there a retired set out there that you think I would love to get my hands on that?
The bane of my existence, the Ewok Village. I've made countless videos on that set. I was in Legoland. I had my money. Picture this. What was it? 2014 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on my way out of Legoland. I had my money.
How much was it?
I think it was, when it came out, it was about
180 quid?
180? Right. Something like that. I had my money. I was like, what? I knew I wanted the Ewok Village. I was like, okay. At the end, I walk in. There it is, the Ewok Village. They even had a store display of it all built up in the acrylic case. I was like, oh, what a beauty. I was going to buy it. And then I saw an Ninjago temple on sale. And I bought that instead.
Have you now sold the Ninjago temple?
As part of I lost it to the bin, but I sold all the figures that came with it.
Okay. But they help fund your Mos Eisley Cantina, so Hakuna Matata, well, Circle of Life and all that. So I suppose there is that. But yeah, I like the whole Ewok thing. But that Ewok Village set is a brilliant. It is a brilliantly designed set. But like I even like the Leia fig out of it, where she's got like a long straight hair.
Yeah.
Like awesome set. I think I would pick it up. Like I would like to pick it up at some point, and I've seen quite a few for sale lately, like on Facebook Marketplace and all that. But I think it's coming down in price a little bit as well.
I would hope so.
It was about 300 quid
I've wanted it for so long.
What is your plan to get it? That's what you need. Like if that's your number one, you need to be like, right, this is how much I'm putting away. This is like when I earn this is what's good. Like you need an active plan for this, Harvey.
Yeah, well, student loan. Get it January 14th. Ewok Village.
Sealed, or would you settle for second hand?
I'm not bothered about it sealed. Nah, I'll just get it used. Easy. I'm not bothered.
Nah, I'm the same. I'd be the same with that.
It's like I'm paying an extra like 200, 300 quid just to open the box and tip it out. Yeah, I'd rather just get it used. No,
fair enough. I would be the same, and I did that with my Sandcrawler. Because what did I pay? 230, but I'd have been paying 350 to 400 for it sealed, and you know what? It was painful at times because of all of them reddish brown parts, like all the same color that you had to do. And the one thing that annoys me with it is it didn't come with one of these, but obviously I've bought one, and but it's the same with the Ewok Village. It's a UCS set, but it doesn't have the UCS plaque. But where I got that from, they do them, so worth picking up if and when you ever get one. A note on that as well: the plate, so the 8x18 plate, cost more than the fucking sticker. Like it's just like But obviously I think they only come in UCS sets. So
yeah.
so that's why. But yeah.
They'll
Nice
probably
one.
release a Master Builder Series Ewok Village when I get round to getting one. I'll probably buy it, and then the next day, new Lego rumor, Master Builder Series Ewok Village,
Well, when's
Endor Bunker remake.
Is 2023 the 40th anniversary of Jedi? Was it 80? Was it 83 Jedi?
3 or 4. 3 sounds.
Yeah, because I think Ghostbusters was 84, and I feel like Jedi was 83.
It is 83.
Yeah. So, yeah, we might just get something.
Maybe.
Are they going to let? I mean, they didn't do anything for. Did they do anything for New Hope? I don't think they did. But the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary stuff did epic. Yeah. So, like, they surely are going to do Jedi.
Hopefully, they do Attack of the Clones next year as well. I'd love an ATTE or obviously Geonosis Arena is the big one that people want.
Yeah. Can you see, with all of the leaks that we've had or the rumors, can you see something like that? Like it's going to be a big year if they've got all this kind of clone stuff. But I don't know. I also feel like Lego doesn't really like the Clone Wars.
Yeah. I know M&R has his opinions.
And do you know? I think it's a fair opinion. Like I think you look at it and think, well,
I agree with him. Yeah, I just yeah.
I mean, you've got we looked at it the other week, and I think there's like 4 or 5 prequel UCS sets of the 20 odd 30. Like, and then obviously there are none from the sequels, but there's no reason for that to be the case anymore. But we'll see. But
I know he made a video recently on like a conspiracy that Lego are trying to tank gunship sales so they don't have to make more prequel UCS sets.
Who made that?
M&R.
Really?
Yeah, he said something along the lines of they included 2 crappy figures, and they did, and then released them in cheap sets to try and purposely tank gunship sales, so then they don't have to make more prequel UCS sets, and then they can show Lego, the fan vote went crap, so we're not doing fan voted sets anymore. We're making our own shizzle.
Oh. I mean, that has, from a business perspective, that has zero logic, does it?
Yeah.
Like, why would you make something to lose money? That probably has made money anyway. Like, I can't, like, who knows? But
but I mean, they can still make a profit on it, but then also say, well, it didn't make as much as we wanted, so, you know. Well,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's some conspiracy.
But then obviously, I think that AT-AT has actually done a lot better than I think anybody expect. Like the amount of those that I see, given its price point, like that'll be them saying, "Look, you guys love the original trilogy."
UCS Luke's Landspeeder. There you go.
Honestly, I'm so excited. I'm genuinely excited for that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like Luke's Landspeeder was my favorite vehicle in Star Wars. I've had like 3 Luke's Landspeeders because I bought 2 when I was a kid, and I bought 1 because I have no clue where the ones I had when I was a kid were. But yeah, I love Luke's Landspeeder so much. So depending on the price point, I might be tempted, but it's not exactly the most exciting UCS vehicle.
I just hope it's a full stop to that set. Because like it is the running joke, isn't it? Like I hope it's just like, right, okay, like we get the joke, we're done. There's the Luke Landspeeder. You're not getting another one for 10 years. Like crack on. Hopefully that's the case, but who knows?
Yeah.
Like
you reckon it's going to be like £180 or something, maybe? Similar vein to the A-Wing.
A-Wing, yeah, I could see that. Do you know the biggest joke will be though? Is they'll put a random minifig with it. It'll just be like, I can't even think what it might
Burned
be. Like,
Aunt Beru or something.
I would snap that up. But
Yeah, I mean, we
Thinking
don't want
like,
another farm boy Luke. Anyway,
and how can you really make that unique as well? But
give it
do you
some
know, maybe
footprinting.
you could do like, I'm trying to think who else you could do, and there's not really a lot of options, but you could actually do the person he sells it to. Now I'm trying to, I don't even know what they look like, but that's probably about as diverse as you could really get with that, because there is no
Yeah.
other reference to what I know of. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, other than that, we're getting a reprint, a new chrome gold C3PO would be
3PO,
quite
yeah.
nice.
Or maybe they could do like a little, they did that polybag of the brick built R2D2, like the mini brick built R2D2.
Yeah.
So it's not like the standard one, but it still has like the standard dome on top.
Mhm.
Throw in a little one of them or something, maybe.
They
I doubt they would do
could,
that, but
yeah, they
could be cool.
they just can't. They can't just do a standard farm boy Luke.
No,
They really can't.
They
They
would
have to.
get,
It'll be the one
they
with
would
the
get
poncho.
roasted so hard.
Yeah, it's just going to be
Yeah.
that poncho one. It is, and then they might chuck like a couple of Tusken Raiders. It's whether they go for, like as you say, the ear wing with a singular fig, or they go for like a couple of figs of everybody who's like referenced by the land speeder. So you could go for a couple of Tusken Raiders, maybe a Jawa or two, because they kind of
Old
like
Ben,
write down.
and then
Old Ben, yeah, because we need another
Yeah.
Ben Kenobi, don't we? And then I don't know, we'll find out. We'll see from there. But dude, I've just clocked the time. We've absolutely blitzed through that. So before I start to close up, guys who are here, thank you for continuing to watch. If you've got any questions that you would like to raise or any point you'd like to raise, now is the time for either myself or Harvey or both. Please feel free. But whilst we potentially wait for them to come through, Harvey, looking very drippy there. What are your Lego, Star Wars, all of that, social media, TikTok plans? Obviously, we're going into Christmas. If it's anything like last Christmas, it's going to be crazy, and it's like a great time to get out there and make content and build your audience. Like, do you have anything planned, or are you just thinking keep pushing?
Yeah, ironically, the Star Wars page, on the Star Wars page, but recently my Star Wars views are my DC and Marvel views. Now, my top 5 most viewed videos, not related to Star Wars in any way whatsoever. My top 5 most viewed videos have nothing to do with Star Wars. So,
What are they?
One was DC animated movie. One was about me meeting Roger Clark at MCM. That one got like 1.5 mil views.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
cool. And him talking about
MCM.
How he spoiled the game.
Yeah.
Then an edit I made of Zack Snyder's Justice League Flash. Marvel characters as song lyrics is one of my more popular ones. And one of me just showing DC opinions where it's like, this is a work of art. That one got like 800k. Like, these Marvel and DC videos do so well. My Marvel videos get my Star Wars videos get max like 7,000 views now. So I think hopefully in December, Book of Boba Fett, towards the end of this year, start of next year, Star Wars talk is going to be up on the rise. So I can get grinding on them Star Wars videos again. And hopefully the Star Wars videos will start doing well again.
Hopefully so, but at the same time, ride the wave that's in front of you. So if it's DC and Marvel, just kind of go off with that, follow that thread, and then go from there. I will ask you this though, because I think you've mentioned this in comments. Are you excited for Robert Pattinson as the Batman?
Yes. I was like, why are they getting this joke man to play Batman when it first got announced? Then that trailer released, and I sat back down. Jesus Christ, it was incredible.
When is it? It must be due out pretty soon because they're starting trailers
March
and stuff.
2022.
March. And do they still have Ben Affleck's Spider-Man in Batman in play somewhere as well?
In the Flash movie.
Yeah. That just doesn't help, does it? Like, that's the problem I have. Is like you've just got
Yeah,
people
and it's
all
got
over
Michael
the place.
Keaton's in the Flash movie as well.
Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah, he's in the new Flash movie.
All right.
Yeah, it's like
I
a
didn't know that.
Flashpoint thing. So he's changing the timeline, going back in time, and Ben
Right.
Affleck and Michael Keaton are going to be in it. And then there's a Batwoman, no, not Batwoman, Batgirl series or movie. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. There hasn't been much information about it, but that's going to have J.K. Simmons Gordon in it, and then apparently Michael Keaton's Batman as well. So God knows what they're doing. But I like the solo movies. So
Yeah. No.
like their own
yeah.
universe things.
Yeah.
They don't have to do a big expanded universe. I think they've messed it up too much at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Just distance yourself, I think.
I feel like as well, because of like Gotham and Metropolis and stuff like that, like using fictional cities over actual, they're too different. Like, I don't feel like the two merge together, like Gotham and Metropolis. They're very like that's what I always like struggle with. Whereas obviously the Avengers, just everything happens in New York.
Yeah. It's like that meme where it's like Avengers, we saved the world, and it's just America on the map.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as we're all here, it's fine. But
yeah.
But no, I probably had the same feeling. I thought, Robert Pattinson, because you just think like Twilight and Harry Potter. You think like, what? But I think the only thing is, I'm less concerned of him as Batman. I'm actually more concerned about how he is as Bruce Wayne. But there are like everybody plays Bruce Wayne very differently. I feel like that's the tougher one to do, is to portray a good Bruce Wayne rather than a good Batman. Because all you do is just put a husky voice on and say, "I'm Batman."
Yeah. I because he's a bit of an emo kid in this. So I don't know how his Bruce Wayne's gonna be, but yeah, because like in the Bruce Wayne scenes that we do get in the trailer, he is just a bit boring. Whereas Bruce Wayne's supposed to be a bit more eccentric, act up, so then you'd be the least likely person to assume to be Batman. That whole Bruce Wayne's the mask, Batman is the true person. Thing. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about his Bruce Wayne, but his Batman is looking sweet.
Well, we'll judge it afterwards, won't we?
It's going to be a trilogy as well, apparently. So, I mean, maybe he'll grow. This is only year 2 of him being Batman. So potentially he hasn't figured out, I need to act up as Bruce Wayne to cover up my tracks or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. As I say, I think it's probably got that slight benefit of the kind of the downfall of the Ben Affleck Batman and just all that stuff that was dragged into there to almost offer that clean break from the Christopher Nolan series, which was like the best thing ever. And it gets that opportunity to reset and not be associated to that and be like, okay, we'll give you a chance and see what happens. So yeah, I mean, it'll definitely it's Batman, isn't it? I'll be going to see that for sure.
Oh yeah.
So,
I can't
and it's
wait.
one of those I think have to go to the cinema to see it for sure. But
for sure.
And we'll talk about it
crisp.
back then. It does, and it's awesome that they filmed it in the UK as well. Like I always
in Liverpool.
when they do that. Yeah, did they do some stuff in Glasgow as well?
I don't know. All I know is I know they filmed some stuff in Liverpool. Flash film was filmed in London as well, I think.
Some tax breaks the Tories are given. It attracts all these in, so if it works and we get stuff, it is always nice. I appreciate it. But Harvey, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. It's been a pleasure to chat after long last.
It has. Pleasure is all mine.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Going forward, I don't know kind of when phase 2 kicks in, but my real goal is to get kind of creators together and kind of create a broader conversation and narrative and like that you touched on there, like when the Batman comes out, to get people in together and like have a conversation around that, and whether it's after it's come out or actually just before it comes out. That's a great example. I probably even just before it comes out, like what are expectations, and then let's just have a broad conversation about the Batman and like all the different versions and what to expect. And so I really want to do that, is kind of create the conversation more broadly and get people on. So I'd absolutely love to have you back on with some of our fellow creators. But this today was very much, this was your time to shine, which you have absolutely done. So congratulations. Best of luck with all of your endeavors over the coming weeks, and make sure you're very active over Christmas, because if anything, if TikTok taught me anything last Christmas, is it's a hell of a time to grow. And if you have
I wasn't around last Christmas, so
it was a crazy time. And you know, I think TikTok's changed a lot since then. Like probably more Lego TikTok, but you've got that advantage of being like Star Wars TikTok, which is probably a bit more solid, and then kind of move Marvel and DC and all that. But yeah, just get active and enjoy it. But it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you on, and I will look forward to continuing to speak to you over the weeks, months, and whoever knows however long. Guys, thank you for sticking with us. For those of you who are still watching live, it's been a pleasure to have you with us as well and interacting as such. If you haven't already, just hit that like. That's all I need. And then I don't know what it does, but it gives us a like, makes me feel better and sleep easier at night. What more could you ask for? If you're watching back, I appreciate you too, to come in and actively do this and watch it whatever time and wherever it fits. But yeah, hit that like, drop a comment, whether you're watching live or you're watching back, drop a comment. And I'll pick up the comments in a day or two and respond back, and we'll have a little conversation. But as for going forward, I don't know about you, but it's that weird time before Christmas where you're like, I don't want to commit to anything because I might be doing something, but I don't know what I might be doing. So like, it's just all over. But I do want to roll the Opie-Verse into kind of towards Christmas a little bit closer and have a couple of more people on. But right as we stand now, for the first time since we started in August, I don't actually have anybody booked in for the next week or so. But that maybe is a good thing, because I can maybe get somebody in kind of on short notice and work around them a bit and promote it from there. But here's a question I'm going to start asking people. If you could nominate one person to come on here, who would you like to see come on the Opie-Verse?
Well, I mean, my cousin Darth Veritas, obviously. I mean, we have extensive chats.
I didn't know he was your cousin. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I mean,
that is an acceptable
Mac,
answer. I mean,
he's pretty good.
So Mac and I have spoken. Yeah. Mac will come on,
because
he's not 18. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. And I could make allowances, but I like the idea of saying like, look, because I think he's 18 in March. So I was like, look, let's like think of how quick we've gone from this concept to now the 17th episode, and we're 4 months in. So I think we just continue to be patient and we go forward from there. And then he'll come on his 18th. He did say he'll come on the first Sunday after his 18th. And I was like, yeah, but that's after the first Saturday night of you being 18 as well. However, he is Scottish. So you do think he's probably been drinking since he was 12. So
yeah, maybe
book fast for breakfast and all that. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Darth Veritas absolutely can go on the list. Because he's your cousin, I'll ask again, and Max on there. Anybody stand out?
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously you're trying to get Choco and that on as well.
Do you know, I would love to have him on, and I just haven't asked him, but I would love to have him on, and it's somebody I need to ask. But yeah, I would absolutely love to have him on.
Yeah. Who was I going? Oh yeah. He's not. He's a bit spacey on TikTok recently. He was called Geek Theory, but he recently changed his name to Derek Up North. He always posted Star Wars content, and he was like one of my favorite Star Wars TikTokers for so long. But he doesn't post a lot more. He posts the odd Transformers video now and again. Nice. But yeah, I would definitely say him. But as I say, he's not I think he's super busy now or something and works away, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time for TikTok anymore. So I don't know how easy that would be. But apart from that, yeah, I think the people who I want to see you've already got. You know, Reese was a big one because I think he's super interesting.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
think his business mindset,
that's when I saw that, I was like, he's going to be a millionaire for sure. Like, it's about drive. He's got the power. He stays hungry. You know, he's moving to Taiwan away from his family to learn business and stuff. You know, he has got, his mind is just wired right.
Yeah. And I totally agree. He's super interesting guy to take as well to that such a business mindset and tap into a hobby space. Like, you know, we're all playing in this like hobby love space. And he's like, you know, he is a Star Wars fan. And actually, when I only unearthed that really in the last 5 minutes and we didn't actually talk about Star Wars. And he was like, I do actually like Star Wars. I'm not a Lego collector. I'm a Lego reseller. But I think he's due back soon for his like kind of like Christmas break. So maybe he could be the first that I get back on. And do you know what? Maybe we do a bit of a Bricklink Lego reseller special and get a couple of like Lego resellers on and have a bit of a narrative in that way, because that'd be quite an interesting one as well.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I will take your note on Darth Veritas as well, and I'll reach out because it'd be good to have him. But I'm trying to get a bit more, keep it going with the Brits a little bit now as well, because the Brits always do well. And I'm just figuring out my audience here. But yeah, it's nice to have I love the Americans, and I'm very well connected with a lot of American creators, but there's nothing like Blighty half the time, is there? So, and we can be a lot more flexible, so we can go from there. But well overrun, but who cares? It's Christmas. But thank you again, Harvey. Thank you, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings. Have a great week. Keep tuned to probably Instagram just for when we get the next one of these set up. And then I'll make a post and all that, and then we'll do some TikTok stuff as well. But until the next time, have a great evening and a great time. Wave goodbye, Harvey. Like you're on a kids' TV show, like that in the day. There you go.